Hi everyone. So I have made a few changes with our round configuration file. So instead of just using the round config, we will need to use the round config and a Latin map as well. So I'm opening up this round config here and this Latin map. So how it's set up right now is in the round config, you will just assign numbers um, that correspond to the row of the Latin map. So let me explain what it means. So each row of our round config represents a session. So let's say I'm a player. I come in and I'm playing this session. So these are all the rounds that the player will play. So in the first round, it says 1. What it means is it will play this configuration here. So it will play 500 FPS. No, the spike is 0 milliseconds, so basically no spike, and all the other spike conditions are false. In the second round, it's mapped to 2, so it will play this one, which means it will be 500 FPS again. It will have the spike magnitudes will be 100 milliseconds long, and it will cause a aim spike, and the other spikes are false. In the third round, it is mapped to 10. It will do this. So it will run at 500. The spike magnitudes are now 300, and it will play the rapid mouse movement spikes. Yeah. So yeah, we can see that these are all the rounds that it represents. So there will be a total of 10 rounds in a session, according to this map. If we want more rounds, we could add like this, but this is the Latin square I generated from this. I'll give you a link on how to generate this from just giving the values of uh, how many um, how many different configurations we have. So we have 10. So this is why we have 1 through 10. Anyway, so these are all sessions. So first session, second session, third session. So how this session will be determined is there's also a file called session ID, which you don't need to change. The game will change it by itself. So when you're just starting your study, the session ID will be 1. Let's say a player comes and plays the game, plays through all the rounds, and when the game closes itself, it will write the session, like it will overwrite the session ID, and it will now become 2. So when the next player comes, instead of going through these rounds, that player will go through these rounds. And in the next session, it will be 3, and the player will go through this round. And when the session ID is 11, it will start from 1 again, and for 12, it will go to 2. So yeah, that's how it works. But you don't need to edit that. It will just be there, and the game will edit it by itself. Yeah, so that's the first change regarding the round config, and there's a new change in the global config as well. So in the previous build, there were only 2 columns, and they were um, the round duration and is this the frame time study. So for you guys, it will be always true. Now there are 3 more columns. The first one is uh, aim cooldown. So there are frame time spikes while you try to aim the enemy. And how it works is if your if the laser pointer of the gun is inside the enemy, or like there's a invisible collider uh, surrounding the enemy, and if the laser pointer is inside that collider, it will throw a spike. And if you go outside that collider and come back again, it will throw another spike. And as the enemy is moving and you're moving, that could happen very rapidly. So this is just a cooldown to slow that spike down. So um, this is in seconds. So it means that there can be only one spike in 1 second. So if you there won't be like 20 spikes in a second, which used to happen in our previous build. So that's the first change. The second one is for rapid mouse movement. This was already implemented in the game, but it was hard coded inside. So this is also 1 second. So if you move your mouse rapidly, the spikes will be generated every 1 second. Yeah, and this is the you can call this sensitivity. So if you lower it, so for the rapid mouse movement, so if you lower it, and your the movement of your mouse doesn't need to be as fast, and if you increase it, then you have to move your mouse much more rapidly to induce a spike. Yeah, so the default was 1.5, but now you can change it via this config, and you can play around with it and decide on a value that you guys like. Yeah, so those are the changes that was made to the game. If you have any questions, you can ask me on Discord. Thank you.